This is Roger Struckoff with CloudEXPO Day 2 in Santa Clara, and I'm sitting here with Daniel Heckman from Grape Up. He's come all the way from the Netherlands, I think, but that doesn't matter. What matters is why he's here and what he's going to do about it. Daniel, welcome, and why are you here? What are you going to do?
Thank you for welcoming me here. So my name is Daniel Heckman. I work for Grape Up, a Polish software development company, and we are here to show the world that we are an awesome company at leveraging cloud-native technologies and helping companies, build software using microservices, work the Agile, the DevOps way, and we've been doing this digital innovation for the last 12 years. Early AWS days, building applications on top of that. So we know a thing or two about cloud technologies.
Let me make that clear. The company's based in Poland. Are you based in Poland or are you based in Netherlands?
So I moved to Poland a year ago. My wife forced me to, but I'm enjoying it very much. Okay. And joined the company about a year ago. So the company has Polish roots. We have 2 development centers in Poland. We've got a sales office here in the valley, actually a building down the street, and one in Germany as well, about 120 souls strong. But yeah, very much in touch with those Polish roots. But I would say that 70-80% of our business is US oriented.
Right, that's the important thing. So you mentioned Agile, and you mentioned you've been doing this for a long, long time. So you're sort of a pioneer. How have things changed? How much progress has been made? Say the last 2 or 3 years, or even longer than that?
So what we've noticed is that there is a huge delay in new technologies being adopted in our neck of the woods. Those companies need time to evolve and adopt those technologies. So whereas we with our software R&D roots have already been playing with a lot of new technologies like serverless and Alexa and so on, it will really take time for them to have a proper business case and adopt those technologies. So on one hand, our company is very much in front of the music, but when it comes to the projects that we do with our companies, it's a bit behind the music, but that's fine. I think that puts us in a unique position to help them adopt technologies that make sense for a given period. But our motto is helping companies embrace digital innovation, so I think we're the right company for that job.
So says he's the boss. That's a Cloud Foundry joke. So these guys are, you're part of the Cloud Foundry Foundation, and I think you were here for the summit. Don't know if you went to the one in Basel, but you said you were for the one here. How important is Cloud Foundry and POS to what you're doing today, and maybe compared to how important was it a few years ago?
So I would say that it's important, and it's growing even more important, and not necessarily just Cloud Foundry, but also container orchestration platforms like Kubernetes. Let's just all wrap them up and call them cloud-native platforms. Right. That is getting more and more important, especially for large enterprises, for efficiency's sake and cost reduction and speed. So that makes all sense. I think 3-4 years ago, they were not ready to adopt those technologies because it had more of the open source feel to it. Although it's still open source, it's gotten mature, and they're ready to go all in on those technologies. So we very much vested in Cloud Foundry. We're a silver member of the foundation, but we're not married to it because a few weeks from now, figuratively speaking, there will be a new technology around the door that makes more sense. So we really force ourselves to be vertically and horizontally agnostic.
Yeah, I mean, Kubernetes has come, I wouldn't say out of nowhere, but the last couple of years, I think a lot of people are surprised by how much traction it's gotten. How does that affect what you're doing?
So it affects us in the sense that customers ask us, so, hey, if I want to do Cloud Foundry, what does that mean with Kubernetes, or the other way around? So it really depends on the business case. What type of company are you? Are you a software driven, or are you a technology company or a hardware company? What is the role of software within your business model? If you're focused on having a high amount of control about the app, you want to tweak it, then something like Kubernetes is very suitable. But in a different case, if you want to have more control, more productivity, then Cloud Foundry makes more sense. But with a new solution like Cloud Foundry Container Runtime, formerly known as AKA Kubo, we're able to marry those two, and I think that is an even bigger benefit.
I mean, if you fell asleep in March, and woke up today, you would have missed all of this. I mean, so there's like
It's exponential.
2 changes, and that's going to continue. So how do you convince customers that you're not going to, that what they're using is not obsolete? How do you kind of obsolete proof? How do you, I mean, you know how to do it, but how do you convince your customers that as fast as technology is changing, they're still going to be okay with you?
So I wouldn't say it's simple, like you said, but our remark is there. We need you to become comfortable with experimentation. That should be your standard mode of operating. And once you're comfortable with that, it doesn't really matter what technology comes along. You experiment with it, and if there is a business case, you adopt it. And what you see, and I think you know this as well, as much as can be abstracted in the stack will be abstracted. So in the end, it doesn't really matter. I mean, what comes along, we'll use it, and if it doesn't work, you'll discard it.
And digital transformation, everyone's swimming upstream. Customers, that's what they want, and you're getting involved in that.
Yeah.
How do you square that circle? Have your, these sort of fairly serious technical conversations, but then you got to make it understandable to the C-level. How do you do that? How do you get your people to do that?
Yeah,
slowly.
that is definitely a challenge. I think why we are successful in pitching that and convincing them, we are in situations where, and I cannot of course name names, but where the big companies, $20 billion plus companies, choose us over much of the known brands within the Cloud Foundry domain and outside, because their feedback is, I want to work with you because I feel that you want to solve my problem instead of selling me a product. And because we don't build products, but we build services, I think we have a lot of credibility, and based on that 12-year heritage as well, and say, listen, we come from a background of entrepreneurship, R&D, Silicon Valley startups. We built telephony acquired by Avaya. We built AdLive, WebRTC. It's still a core part of Snapchat. So we understand the business side of IT, and we're very awesome at building software. So I think that helps.
How do people find you? What's your URL?
GrapeUp.com.
Can't beat that. There you go. Let's have this conversation a year from now. 6 months from now, I hope to see you around, because it's evolving, and it'll be funny, like a couple years, you look back on this and go, wow, we were talking about that? And it's just astonishing stuff. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching. For Syscon TV, this is Roger Struckhoff.